Hey, good evening. It's Friday night. This is Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous, stepping into your life space to encourage you, to give you hope, and to give you direction as you go through the trauma of divorce. So it was interesting to me that last week I talked about, let me get rid of that banner there. I talked about shock and grief. And it was on my YouTube channel, it was one of the highest viewed post that I have had in quite some time. And I always wonder, where do I need to go? Because there are so many areas that I could talk about when it comes to divorce. I could talk about the process, I could talk about the emotions, I could talk about all the decisions you have to make, accepting where you're at, moving forward from it. There is so much, and that's the reason why I have so many resources. But today, I just want to give you some encouragement and some hope and some thought about something called post traumatic growth. So, we all know PTSD, and quite frankly, it's associated with war and huge traumatic losses. However, there are people going through divorce who suffer a lot of post traumatic um, depression and trauma. And so, when we look at this honestly, we recognize for some of this, this is heavy hitting, like right to the soul, to the depth of the soul, and to the gut. But I want to encourage you to know that from this pain and this rawness comes the opportunity in ways you have never had before for growth. Because it kind of rips you to shreds in so many ways. And there is so much chaos. And because there is so much chaos, you don't fall back into the routine of where your life was. You are forced to search for a new life. And that actually can have some amazing rewards. And it can be because of what you're going through. Because had this life altering occurrence not happened, you would have stayed the course and probably had a pretty predictable future. But in comes the divorce and the upheaval and the destruction of so much foundation which you were standing on, that now, because it's all demolished, you have the opportunity to grow in ways that you have never grown before. I hope that that makes sense. You're not going to grow in spite of what has happened to you. You're going to grow because of what has happened to you. The real question is, do you want to? Because this divorce has changed you. It will change you forever. The question is, how will it change you? What choices will you make from this upheaval that will be positive and will be good and will give you a future that you never thought possible before? There are no guarantees in life, and certainly we discovered that as we go through a divorce. But the real important question is, will you? You have a choice now to grow. You have a choice also to be stuck in where you're at, in the pain of it and the denial of it, or you have a choice to grow. I hope you're curious of what's out there. I hope that you're wondering, what could I do now? What do I want to do now? What's before me? There's a whole world before you. There is a God who loves you and is a God of second chances and wants to guide you. And he has a purpose and a plan. And he knew that this was going to happen. It does not surprise God. It may have surprised you, but it does not surprise God. So tell me this, you have a choice to grow from this. Will you? You know, I've met some people, and I still am associated on Facebook with some people who, after many years, are still stuck, still bitter, not growing, not finding their own life. I hurt for them, and I hurt for you. If you have decided after years after this divorce, you're still stuck and you're still angry and you're still blaming and you're still bitter and you haven't forgiven and you haven't moved on, I hurt for you because life is so short. What if you ask yourself, what do I want of my life right now? If I had the whole world at my fingertips, what would I want? What are my dreams? What are my goals? What do I want? And sometimes when I work with people, we have to go back to high school or college days to remember what our dreams and goals were. They are worthy of exploring. So the choice really is yours, not anyone else's. Doesn't matter what's happened to you. I'm not saying it wasn't important. What has happened to you is very important, what has happened to you. But that is not what has to be taken into consideration as you determine your life. Maybe you need help with that. Maybe you need a life coach. You need a divorce coach. You need a therapist. You need someone who's going to help you explore where you want to go and what you want to do. It is such an important process and worthy of the journey and the time and the effort and the investment to find what is your potential now. What are those dreams that you want to go after? What are those goals you want to go after? The one thing, the only thing you do not want at the end of your life, well, maybe there's two. First of all, you don't want the rejection of Jesus Christ as your Savior. That's number one and foremost. The second is you don't want regrets. You do not want regrets for the choices that you made. And if you need help doing that, get the help. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be Stephanie. I see you out there, Stephanie. She's another life coach who's fabulous. Find someone who's going to guide you along this path so you can let go of all the negativity and all of the past, and you can begin to see a future. So I've got a group right now, Life Coaching After Divorce. We use this book. You can get this book. It's available Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anywhere, all kinds of what am I trying to say? Vendors. You can find it there. And there's also this book, Building Your Life After Divorce. And then there's this book, 30 Days of Healing After Divorce. Find those resources, find the people that are going to help you mine and find all of your potential and all of your future life. Don't let this divorce ruin the rest of your days. You have a beautiful life in store. The second half is going to be the best half if you do it intentionally. Let me know how I can help. I hope this has been a little bit of encouragement. Take care of you. Work on your stuff. Work on your growth. Get beyond the pain of divorce to find the potential of life after divorce. This is Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous, walking with you every step of the way through the trauma and after the trauma of divorce. Good evening.